Hey everyone, what's up? What's up? It's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Gonna be a great podcast tonight. We got Mark from the Ark, Matt from the Ark in the live chat. Matt from the Ark, from Ark Support. He is our admin in the live chat. He'll be dropping some information in the live chat tonight, some links and so forth on how you can join our Masterclass, which is coming up very, very soon. Not too far from now, we're going to have an amazing masterclass, and you're going to want to be involved in this Decoding the Financial Matrix masterclass coming up actually this weekend. It's going to be a 2-day virtual event, and it's going to be about 10 hours. Okay. A lot of learning, and registration is almost free. $5. Simply because we want people to have a little bit of skin in the game so that they actually show up for the lesson. $5, less than a Starbucks coffee. You can spend 10 hours in an amazing masterclass taught by 6 amazing human beings, including myself. Not saying that I'm amazing, but I'm one of the people teaching. The other 5 people are truly amazing human beings. And I'll be in there with them. We'll be teaching you guys for a total of 10 hours over 2 days. It's going to be amazing. Okay. $5. So, sometimes people tell me, how come this stuff costs money? Well, I've done probably in the last 3 years or 4 years, I've done at least 30 free workshops. In the last 24 months, I've done at least 7 or 8. And now this one here is only $5 for 10 hours of teaching. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities to learn if you're paying attention. Like I always say, knowledge ain't free. You got to pay attention. So make sure you guys click the like button and share this video. If you do register for our weekend masterclass and you can't make it, it's okay. You can watch the replay unlimited amounts of times. You don't have to sit there for the whole 10 hours. Because people have things to do. We have lives, but you will be able to come back and watch it at your own leisure. Okay. So make sure you guys click the link, click the like button. Today, we're talking about how to legally avoid paying taxes. It's going to be a great podcast. Gven is going to join me in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. And while we're waiting for Gven to hop on, there are a few things that, I'd like to talk about. And by the way, a lot of great comments in the live chat. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Chilosaurus, and everyone else that's been joining us here. We're up to about 200. We got to get this thing to 1,000 people. All right, we got to get this live up to 1,000 people. All right. So, and by the way, there will be $10,000 worth of giveaways in this masterclass, NFTs, crypto, and everything else. All right. So you definitely want to be there because you might be the one that gets blessed. Okay. This is something that we're doing to help people. So click that link and register ASAP. A lot going on in the world. A lot going on in the world right now, right? It has been bonkers. I mean, it has been crazy out here. Like I told people, if people don't understand by now the reason why I vote for my own self every 4 years, then they'll never understand. As most of you know, I vote for myself. I nominate myself. I give my own presidential speech every 4 years, which I did my presidential speech on YouTube Live back in January. My acceptance speech, because I am the president of my own life. And like I always told you, stop putting your faith in these outside sources and these outside entities and these outside beings. By putting your faith in these poly tricksters, you've given them your energy. And what are they going to do with your energy? They're going to monetize it. They are going to monetize the hell out of it. That's what they do. And once again, I've been proven right all over again. I've been proven right again. You have to understand that these people are simply in office for one reason and one reason only. It's to enrich themselves. And there's also reasons behind some of the things that they do, because there is a lot of behind the scenes activity like blackmail, extortion, sleeper cells. There's a lot going on behind the scenes as to this whole crazy scenario that just happened over this last week, which had the world in an uproar talking about a potential World War III. Right? So let me break it down for you while I got a minute before we get into this talk tonight, because you know what? It's all my mind. I got to break this thing down so people can really understand what the hell is going on out here. Like, what are they doing? Are these people narcissistic psychopaths and sociopaths? Yes, they are. They're also very crude businessmen as well. And they will make money off the sweat, the backs, and the blood of the general population, which is us. And they'll go to sleep at night because they don't have a conscience, because they're narcissists. In their mind, they've convinced themselves that they're right. They believe their own lies. And because of that, they don't feel any guilt or shame or empathy whatsoever. They're like cold rocks. These people are NPCs, non-player characters, right? You take a look at Israel, and you look at the history of Israel, and you begin to realize why the people who inhabit that land have been kicked out of so many countries over and over and over and over again. Every country they go set up in, they do the same thing. They don't even learn their own lessons. They infiltrate, they take over finance and interest rates, they dominate the banking systems, they drive up extreme amounts of inflation, they pervert the materials, they pervert society with all different types of sexual behaviors, and they create a lot of havoc, and they create a great divide and conquer tactic, and they also impoverish the original peoples of that area. Then when the people finally wake up and go, what the hell are we doing, and stand up to them and kick them out, they move on to another area, and they do the same thing over. They've done it over and over and over and over. Obviously now the newest place that they're trying to dominate and take over with the same old tactic and technique now is Palestine. And the entire state of Israel is built on war. That is their source of revenue and income. And that's how Netanyahu stays in power. He stays in power by acts of war. That's what's keeping him there for the last 30 damn years. Iran has been supposedly coming close to building a nuclear weapon since the 1990s. They're only days away, guys, from having something that's going to nuke enough enriched uranium to make a nuke. Meanwhile, Pakistan has about 100 nukes. Israel has a few hundred nukes, and they have an illegal nuclear program over there. Actually, they haven't even given complete access to their nuclear program. And their ultimate goal is total world domination. Their ultimate goal is to collapse the American dollar, to use us as their goyim and get us to do with their bidding. And then at the end of the day, when we're in a weakened state, is to also dominate and take us over as well, because we're just chattel to them, as it's written in their text, the Talmud. So it's pretty interesting. But what happened with all this posturing is, first, of course, they wanted to attack Iran. They've been wanting to attack Iran for a very, very long time, because they want to do what they've done everywhere else. They want to demolish them and then move in and take over the land in the name of God. And so they finally got someone we got someone in office that they had a little blackmail on. They had a little blackmail on old Donnie boy, and that had to do with the Epstein files. And they had a little blackmail on him and a lot of pressure. Also, not only that blackmail, but also the pressure of the sleeper cells that exist within America that are tied to Mossad. The same sleeper cells that did 9/11, and they're still here. They've been waiting to be activated by a single message. And so knowing that as the head polytrickster, you know that they've got the sleeper cells. Any particular location can be destroyed on a phone call or a text message at any moment. and they got the blackmail on you, you're kind of forced to participate in the whole scheme of things. So even though he campaigned against war, he ended up being put in a very peculiar situation. Do I let random civilians in America, die from sleeper cells and make us look completely incompetent and we can't protect the people? And then on top of that, deal with a blackmail issue, which can go viral. So he had a tough decision to make. So he did it in a very strategic way. I will give him that. You can tell this was extremely, extremely coordinated. So what they did was they used their reconnaissance and they gained intel on the sites within Iran. They discovered that these sites had already been abandoned. They knew they were abandoned before they dropped. I believe they even contacted Iran and worked this out. In other words, this is chess, not checkers. I believe Iran was already contacted by the U.S. government, worked out, hey, guys, these are 3 targets. We're going to drop these, take your uranium out, hide it somewhere else. You guys can rebuild. Matter of fact, there may be an international fund to help you rebuild these nuclear plants. But right now, we've got to drop a bomb on these, make sure no one's in sight, make sure hardly anyone gets hurt. We have to take this stance at this particular moment. We'll let you retaliate. You can hit us in Qatar, but we'll intercept those and we'll knock those out and we'll call it a stalemate. So that's how he played it. Instead of going full-blown war, this was a chess move, not checkers. And that satisfies Israel. That keeps the blackmail down. That keeps the sleeper cells asleep. That shows a posture. And then there's a retaliation. So Iran shows their posture, even though it wasn't a true posture. It wasn't a strong posture, very weak one, but a posture nonetheless to their people. Say, hey, at least we fired back at them. Those ballistics were intercepted in Qatar with Qatar's air defense system. Take those missiles out of the air, and now everyone's happy. See? And everyone's happy now all of a sudden. And of course, Trump nutted up today because he cursed on live camera in an interview because he was pissed off at Israel he gave them a ceasefire. I think it was 12 hours to stop and cease everything. So they decided to try to drop everything they had in 1 hour on Iran. And what that did was pissed him the hell off. And he cursed on national TV. I think it was on CNET. He cursed on national TV, which has gone viral. He said, he's extremely pissed off at Israel. He's emphasized that twice and said neither of these companies know what the fuck they're doing. And it's a little deeper than that. But he played the game because he had to. You see, like I told you, stop putting your faith in polytricksters, because every time you turn around, you're going to be let down. If you put your faith in yourself, well, then guess what? If you make a mistake or you fail at something, you can only look at yourself in the mirror. But when you put all your faith and your energy and everything you got within you into these other people, they are always going to let you down. It's a guarantee. Put your faith in yourself. That's where it belongs. Put your faith in your community. That's where it belongs. You see? That's how you change the world. You don't change the world by hoping that one person that gets this magic title of president is going to be able to affect the change globally. It's just not going to happen. A president can't even change stuff in your state. They can't control your state. They have no power over your state. None. Unless they make an illegal action and call in a National Guard. But if they're really going by the rules and the laws, the governor can tell the president, hey, man, screw you. We're going to do whatever we want to do. Just like when Biden was the president and the governor of Florida was told, you got to do vaxes and you got to do, you all have to wear masks and everything else. He said, man, screw you. We're going back outside. You can't tell us what to do. You can't control our state budgets. You can't. They can't. See? So because of that, the president only has limited federal controls, and they can do things like illegal missiles, illegal military attacks, kind of like the one that was just executed the other night on Iran. But again, guys, the power is in yourself and your community. That's where you make change. Communities like this, the art community, the forbidden knowledge community. This is how you affect change on the planet. This is how you make a true change in your life. Focusing on yourself and your community and how you can come together with collaboration over competition. Then the world will begin to change. Stop giving away your power to these poly tricksters, because they will suck you dry, just like Diddy and them. And the next thing you know, you'll be scratching your head going, how did this happen? How did we get here? Well, you didn't see the writing on the wall. That's what happened, all right? Let me bring Gven on in. What's up, Gven?
Hey, what up, dude? I'm like
man.
sitting here like I was on and I was like, yep, yeah, I agree. But I knew I was backstage, but I'm like so used to being on. But then when I like log on live, or I log on to watch you, which I always do.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I'm one of Billy's biggest fans, all right? Like, I'll be sitting there and like I'm actually there with you now because I'm used to it. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not even on here. So I'm like nodding my head like this. Yes, very true. Very true. Oh, man. It's so true, though. You know, like I saw that today. I was blown away, though. I had to like rewind it, make sure it wasn't AI. I was like, did Trump really drop an F-bomb? I'm like, this is getting real. I started laughing, man.
He's like, guys, we had a script. You're supposed to stick to the script, and you went outside of the script. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
I get it. I would have been frustrated too, man. He had to go through that. He had to get emasculated online, right? Yeah. He had to get trolled online for going with that little acting scenario and playing out this whole pre-recorded script they had to go through, this posturing and this proxy crap and doing this fake attack. And he had to get his ego hurt. And so after he went through all of that embarrassment, he's like, you dumbasses couldn't just stick to the script and just let's move on. So I get it. He was frustrated, you know?
Yeah. I see it, man. But I probably would have been really, really pissed too. But like, I don't know. Have you been seeing this same thing? Like, I don't know, maybe even you posted it and I saw it on one of your stories or something today, but like how nobody's really like died. Not that many people have died in like Tehran and in Israel, in what's their capital, Jerusalem. Yeah. Despite the fact that it looks like the wrath of God, Deuteronomy God, has been shooting into these cities, but like nobody's dead, you know, like barely anybody's dead. And so I'm like, I'm sitting here going like, man, this is a script. This is a show.
Scripted, man. Yeah. It's unfortunate what's happening in Palestine. Those people are being genocided
there,
for sure. But in Israel, there's been I don't want to minimize death, because death of any kind and children are dying, but they have it is strange how I guess they went to bomb shelters or something, but there has been a limited amount of death based on the amount of attack. Right. Which is mind-boggling, how the amount of missile strikes versus the amount of death. I would think the whole place was wiped out, you know? Everyone's gone. But
dude, because you just see like there's just 150 million missiles like going both ways.
It's wild. It's wild, man. Oh, and neither one of them can drop a nuke on each other, because the nuclear fallout would take them all out because they're too close.
Yeah, they're too close.
They're too close to drop an actual nuke, so they can't even do that, thankfully. But yeah, just wild, man. What a wild scenario it was anyway, but heavily scripted scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is you and I both know this has happened before in history, you know, and this isn't the first time, right? This isn't the first time. Look at even World War II, you had the Spanish flu. Things moved a little slower back then, you know, about what, 15, 20 years later, then this World War II kind of starts brewing and stuff. And now we've got this, the new wars, which are proxy wars. You know, like the U.S. doesn't want to go to war. Nobody in the United States wants to go to war. And especially now, you see everybody, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight for my country. You know, they're like, I want to stay alive. Like you all are you go fight.
Yeah.
That's what, you and I were talking about that over the phone the other day. We're like, okay, how about we do this? Trump, you go and you fight the Ayatollah, or Netanyahu. You guys go duke it out.
Yeah. Battle to the death, man. Yeah. Battle to the death. Ruler versus ruler, battle to the death.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, all of a sudden, we're all good friends now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, you know what, guys? You just keep doing your thing over there, like.
Right. Yeah, man. It's the way it should be, but it's not. So they send the poor kids out. They go get the poor kids who just want to get a VA loan and some college money. So they get them recruited into these militaries. They send them out there to go kill other poor people. Like I said in my other video before we get into this tonight, what people have to understand, Gven, and everyone listening tonight, I hope you really understand what I'm about to tell you right now. Trump, Ayatollah, Netanyahu, the president of China, nobody, no ruler, no king in history has the power to kill anyone. All they can do is speak a word. That's all they can do. It's called giving an order. So they speak this word, and then who picks up that frequency? The poor people. Yes, sir. I will go execute this. It's the poor people, based on the word of somebody who is not going to get their hands dirty. They run out and they go execute that order, and they go out and kill other poor people. It's only in a war, it's only poor people killing poor people. The rich people aren't fighting. The poor people are killing poor people. That's what war is, based on a rich person saying, blah, go do this. And then they run out. Okay. It's been going on since time immemorial. You go to the book of Deuteronomy in the Bible. What do you find? God is telling these poor people to go to that town because one man talked against me. Kill that man, kill everyone in the town, burn the town to the ground, kill the women and the children, and bring the spoils of war back to me. They always need the spoils of war. Why does God need spoils of war? It's the same thing happening right now. You go over there, the poor people from America hop on a plane, they go over to another country, blow everything up, and then the rich people take the spoils, which is the oil, the minerals, the mines, and everything else. They get all the resources. That's their spoils of war. It's been going on since before the book of Deuteronomy, but the book of Deuteronomy in the Bible is the most recent version.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah. Well, look, you have said this before, all right? And this is, while things are bad, they're not as bad as they used to be.
That's true.
Right. They're not as bad as they used to be, which is really good. And my intent is to keep just doing what I do and trying to make it better, the most that I can do. Because like you said before, like Trump ain't going to do it. Like your Demopublican or your Republicrat are not going to do it for you.
No.
Right. Only you can make the decision to not take the order. Right. And I actually think that, especially like with things like X, now we got a lot of people on here from X right now. Yeah. You got things like X where people were speaking out. They're like, no way. I don't buy it. This is George W. Bush Part 2. They have nuclear weapons. And I think we learned our lesson probably from that. They're like, oh, okay, we don't want to do that again. Like there's a much more effective way to do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm very hopeful things are headed in the right direction. And we're going to, by the way, guys and gals, we're going to be talking about that this weekend. We have a 2-day event. There's a link that is dropped there for the Forbidden Knowledge podcast network, where we're going to talk about the fourth turning. Billy, you're going to be talking about post-labor economy, which I'm really excited about. I want to leave it there because it's a real thing. You've been studying up on it, but there's all sorts of things that are coming up, guys. Like, don't be listening to this doom and gloom. If you vibrate on that frequency, that shit is going to keep coming back to you.
Yep.
Straight up. All right. But trust me when I tell you this, there is some really cool and good people and good stuff coming up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you know Nick.
Yeah.
Nick right now, he's in Europe. He's talking to a guy who has solved 0 point energy.
Nice.
And you know, Dr. Stephen Greer, I've talked to him. I talked to him at the Conscious Awards last year. He's also working on it. Like, this stuff is coming, guys and gals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, straight up.
We're
straight
close.
Up.
We're so close.
We're so close.
Yeah.
I think we're like 5 years away.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not going to come without a bit of struggle, right?
Yeah. Well, you're looking at the last temper tantrums right now. These are the last temper tantrums for a while. There's the birthing pains, if you want to look at it that way, of a new civilization. When in ancient times, these ancient rulers, specifically these Anunnaki, they ruled in processions of the equinox, and they would rule during a particular constellation, right? So we've coming out of Pisces into Aquarius, and so now, just like in the ancient texts, it talks about the person who was king and ruling over the planet at the end of their constellation reign. Sometimes they started wars to try to keep their rule a little bit longer, to extend their kingdom a little bit longer past when it should be. And sometimes they would even start a war before their time to rule, before their procession came in, so that they could take over early. And we see the same exact thing happening right here on Earth. So we have to realize that these are just a small group of people that are fighting for their own ego, domination, and power, money, hungry struggles, and everything else that they're trying to do to continue to keep their grasp on humanity. But we have grown now to over 8 billion people, okay? Over 8 billion. We have to realize that the power and the strength is in our numbers, not in their minuscule numbers. There's a small number of them and a huge number of us. And when we recognize that collective power that we have, even if we're all just focusing and thinking on the same thing, like positivity, inspiration, motivation, love, whether it's self-love or collective love, all those things, when we vibrate like that in a mass amount, the planet will shift. We just have to build these communities, and then the communities will connect because they'll all be on the same frequency, and then we'll see a global and planetary shift. And we're in that stride right now. We're going in the right direction. We just got to keep pushing, and we got to see past all this posturing and all this warmongering and all this elite oligarch chessboard stuff. We got to see past it, and we got to keep striving.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And I put up here Jeff Vanes. He put in the Fed, and the Fed is, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight, right? Mm-hmm. How to legally not pay taxes using crypto, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to go deeper into this. It's a 2-day event. We're going to go deeper into this, into decoding the financial matrix event. It's $5. We're actually really close to being sold out. So if you guys want, head over to that link that we've posted in the chat. We just posted it right now, and sign up, because we have some really, really good alpha. But we're going to be talking about how you can legally stop paying taxes. I'm going to go real into detail. Like, I'm going to show you exactly what I've done. I mean, I've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. One of the things is this method that we're going to talk about tonight. But two, I voted with my pocketbook. I moved out of the United States. I was like, and it wasn't Biden, it wasn't Trump. I left during Trump, came back during Biden. I was like, yeah, no. I'm like, left wing, right wing, same bird, like you always say, right? Yeah. I'm like, I'm out of here. It's hot here. I had been living in another country before that, and I'm like, wait, not only is it way cheaper to live in another country, not only is it nicer here, not only is it safer, I don't have to worry about somebody walking into God knows where, and you know, do God knows what. I'm not going to say it here, but you know, like but I really do. The United States has done such a good job at like branding themselves. Oh, we are the safest country in the world. No. Do some research. United States is like right in the middle. All right. In fact, Russia's even safer than the United States. How do I know? Well, I've been there and I've done my research.
It's on the stats. You can look it up. Actually, it's pretty. Yeah, they have it listed in order.
And they have it listed right in order. And if you take a look at the United States, guys, what is it? The juice is not worth the squeeze for me. That's why I moved.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, there's no more juice in this, man. So I moved. Now, here's the thing about the United States that a lot of people don't understand. You know this, Billy, because we talked about it before. They will follow you around like the Gestapo, like gangsters around the world and go, you owe me tax money. I don't care where you live. It's one of 2 countries, and I forget how many countries there are in the world. There's like 170, I think, 170 countries, let's say. It's around there. Out of those 170, there are 2 countries. One that's like Timbuktu, which they can't do shit.
Yeah.
The other is the United States. They can do something about it, and they follow you around. They go, we don't care if you live in Spain. We don't care if you live in Central America, South America, Mexico. We don't care. You're going to pay us our taxes unless you fall under something called the foreign income exclusion. All right. And so what happened during or the foreign income exclusion is a way where if you live outside the United States and your income comes from a foreign source and you live outside the United States for more than 330 days, you get an exemption of $126,000 per one person. And if you're a couple, you double that. So you get more than $252,000 write-off. All right. There's a lot of people that don't really make that. Okay. And there's other things that you can do to structure yourself outside the United States that you can do totally legal. I have some YouTube videos on my YouTube channel where you can go watch. I did 3 different things that you can do. Okay. But at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize that. They're just like stuck in this mindset, like, no, well, I got to stay here. I just got to grind it out. I got to pay my taxes. I got to do all these things. And I'm like, no, legally, you can move. And there's a guy named Andrew Henderson on YouTube. He's coined the term, go to where you're treated best. Guys, gals, I've lived all over the world. Billy, you've traveled all over the world. I can guarantee you there is juice worth squeezing in other countries. Guarantee.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah. And by the way, we're not financial advisors.
Yeah.
By the way, we're just giving you, we're just talking about our own personal experiences.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So look, here's just something that everybody can chew on and think about and go, hey, see, okay, look at this guy, Stepdaddy Johnson. See, he doesn't understand. These are people that have not actually looked into Wesley Snipes' case. So Wesley Snipes didn't end up paying taxes, all right? He said he didn't have to pay taxes. He ended up signing under penalty of perjury that he made a certain amount of money, but he lied under penalty of perjury, right? He wasn't living outside the United States, all right? He wasn't taking advantage of these other things. So you have to be careful for like guys like this that are saying, that make comments like this, that scare people, because there's plenty of ways that you can do this. Again, I'm not an accountant, neither is Billy. You can ask your accountant, just go and say, hey, I heard this thing from a guy on YouTube called the foreign income exclusion, or Google it or ChatGPT it. It's right there. All right. It'll tell you all the things that you need to know. So this is definitely something. Yeah, Andrew Henderson is the nomad capitalist. He's the nomad capitalist. He's one of my favorite guys to watch. Yeah. But anyways, I don't know, Billy, like you're seeing a lot of this stuff. Do you want a lot of your money going to these forever wars, to these?
Of course not. Yeah, of course not. And there's ways to do it if you're stuck in the United States like myself. I'm not stuck here, but I am here. And so there's other ways to do it. And one of the ways is, of course, you don't want your income or your assets in your name. You want to put them in structures, right? So you want to put this is what we're going to be talking about this weekend. How do you put your income and assets in structures like corporations, trusts, or foundations? All right, so you want to do that because then it makes it a lot easier to maneuver, right? So you set up a company, in a country. You can do that too, like Gven was talking about. You can do, Cayman Islands, BVI, Panama, UAE, Ireland. Some of those places, could work, and you can get that special setup where you can route international income through that entity. And you only pay the taxes based on that jurisdiction, which is going to be still taxed, but maybe a lot lower than normal, right? But there's also other ways that you can do it where you can actually establish a foreign trust. So you can still stay here, but you can establish a foreign trust like Nevis or the Cook Islands or Belize. Or you can even do a domestic trust with tax deferral features. And within that, you can put your portfolio, your real estate, your crypto, and any other businesses you have within that trust. And that's how you have the capability of earning income as a trust and not as an individual. So as long as you're not earning money as an individual, then you're not going to be subject to those taxes. And you earn money inside a trust. And if it's set up the right way, then that trust is not going to pay any taxes. So you can look to a trust attorney to get these types of things set up, and you can put your entire crypto business within that. So there are several different ways to flip this and do this to where you can avoid paying a lot of taxes. In some kind of way, you'll always end up paying something small. But for if you really set it up properly, you can probably put yourself in a position to greatly reduce the amount of tax that you're paying out.
Yeah. So let's say, for instance, though, so one of the things, so Billy just gave you some alpha as to like how you can structure, and these things cost money, right? It's not it's not cheap by any means. Now, there's a couple of things. One, you got to get there first, right? You got to get there first. So we're going to talk about that this weekend, and we're going to talk about it here on Conscious Finance. But if you want it like condensed, you want thousands of dollars worth of info all in one, you'll have access to Billy, access to me, access to guys like Mike Rashid, all sorts of people. Click on that link, sign up. But once you have those entities set up, or if you don't have those entities set up, let's say you don't have them. And let's say you're like, oh man, I do not want to pay taxes on my Bitcoin gains or on my Ethereum gains or on my meme coin gains, let's say. All right. Well, let's say then there are options out there. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys here. I'm gonna show you, if you don't mind, Billy. I'm gonna share my screen.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna share with y'all. So Aave, all right, Aave. This is what we call your own bank. Okay, right here. This is what we call your own bank. Okay. Now, why is this your own bank? Well, first of all, your own bank resides on something like this. This is what we call a hard wallet, if you can see on my screen. All right. And this is where the keys to my crypto reside. All right. But I own this. There's no Chase Bank that holds on to it. None of that. But when I don't give my power away and I control my money, I'm able to do things that the banks can do. Okay. So one of the things that a lot of people will do is, let's say, for instance, Billy, if you have a home that you own, let's say you just own it in your name, no trust, none of that stuff, right? And you turn around, you've owned that house for 5 years, you bought the house for, I don't know, 100,000. Now it's worth 150,000. And you're like, man, I really wish I didn't have to like sell this house to realize that profit. If I were to go and say, you know what, Billy, you can actually borrow against your house. Do you pay tax on that borrowed money?
No.
You do not pay tax on that borrowed money. Why?
Because it's a loan.
It's a loan. It's borrowed money. Now, you may make money and then you have to pay back that loan. You have to pay taxes on the money that you made. But you have basically this tax-free loan where you can take profit, and then you can take that and invest it in other things. You can spend the money, you can do all these things. Now, I spent, a good part of the last 5 years living off borrowing against my crypto. And by the way, like if you borrow against your house, you're going to usually spend, I don't know what, 30, 45 days minimum, right? To refi. It's called a refi.
Yeah.
Your house. Am I right on that, Billy?
Yep. Refi.
Yeah, I've refied a couple properties before. It took 30 to 45 days. Well, what you're looking at here, all right, on Aave, I can put my Ethereum, my Tether, my wrapped BTC, my Aave token, my RL USD, for those of you that are Ripple fans and XRP fans, my Chainlink, which is a really big crypto, my Uniswap, my Maker DAO token, my Curve token, my Balancer token. I can put all of these cryptos up as collateral, and I'm actually going to get paid to do that. All right? I'm going to get paid to do that. Now, some of them, it's not so sexy. Like, look at this. If I had Uniswap token, which Uniswap is a really good token in my opinion. It's a token that is doing fee sharing with its token holders, but they're only paying me 0.08%. The reason is somebody's borrowing my Uniswap tokens, all right, and they're paying me the difference. So the protocol, which is Aave, they're charging 1.28%, and then they're giving me 0.08. Now, this may go up over time, all right, but right now it looks like Aave's keeping a big lion's share of this, and it's just a supply and demand thing, okay? But what I do is if I put my Uniswap up, not only am I going to get paid this, all right, because people are going to borrow against my Uniswap, but then let's say I want to borrow some Tether. Well, I'm going to pay basically 4.9 because 0.08% I'm making, okay, for lending it out. But I'm going to pay 4.9% to borrow against my Tether. That's lower than most mortgage payments right now, right, Billy?
Oh, yeah. Mortgage interest.
Let's take a look at some. Let's see if we have some other stable coins. Like, look, RLUSD, this is another stable coin. It's lower, 4.64%. Now, these are variables, so they do go up and down in value. But, man, I've seen stable coins lower than 1% at times. And usually it balances out right now in the current climate that we're in to about 4%. Again, that's way freaking better than a mortgage or than a credit card where they're gonna charge you to death. And here's the coolest part. Most people are like, well, don't I have to like make a payment? No, you don't. Here's what happens, all right? Basically, the interest keeps getting added on. And what happens is you would have to just pay more to get out of this loan. So you'd have to come up with more USDT or Tether in order to get out of the loan. But if you let the loan go too high, and this is what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about it on Sunday, actually, at the 2-day event, links in the description. We're going to show you how to do this correctly, because if you go too much, you get what is called liquidated, which means you can lose the money that you still have in there. The money you pulled out, you keep because that's it. But these are called smart contracts that these are in, and the smart contracts protect the person who's lending the money. All right, so they're like, oh man, we got to make sure that our people, the ones, the banks, are protected. And here's the coolest part. Billy, you remember, because you and I first started working together during this time, you remember Celsius, FTX, all these things. Remember when they collapsed? Okay. Voyager was another one. They were doing borrowing and lending. That was CeFi, or centralized finance.
Yeah.
DeFi is all public. And what the difference is, We control the network. The people control the network. So remember how Billy was talking about how we're 8 billion people and we have all the power. All the power is starting to move to the blockchain right now, guys and gals. And now we're able to become the bank. It's not JP Morgan that's coming on, even though they're creating their own blockchain on Ethereum, believe it or not. But we're now the bank. So now imagine those people who are unbankable in India and Africa and Southeast Asia, they have a fighting chance. All they need is a cell phone and a little bit of knowledge. And guess what, guys and gals? If you're the first ones to this, it's not going to be JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or Blackstreet or whatever, the other one, BlackRock.
BlackRock, yeah.
You and me and Billy and the guy in Africa and the gal in North Carolina, and anybody who wants to participate can participate in this. No Ponzi scheme, no multi-level marketing, none of that. This is the way real finance works. But guess what? Here's the other flip side. You can't over leverage yourself here. So like what happened with Celsius is they were lying. They were lying about how much money they had, FTX, lying about how much money they had, okay? And people were not able to verify on the blockchain because they had so many different wallets. It was very confusing, all right? But guess what? Did any of these things that I've been using since 2020, I started using this when they started coming out. Not even a year passed and I started using this DeFi stuff. Did any of these collapse? Nope. Not a one. Billy, that's why you started working with us, because I'm like, Billy, let me show you. Billy, let me show you what we got going on, man. None of these banks collapsed. Yeah. Right?
I thought I was doing crypto by downloading these fancy apps and buying coins. That's not doing crypto. That's just gambling. You might as well just go to the racetrack or bet on a horse, right? So it's not doing crypto. It's just gambling. Go to the casino and play the roulette wheel. The way you taught me was the real way how to play crypto, how to become your own bank, how to understand how crypto actually works from the inside out, how to get on a DeFi platform, decentralized finance, how to put my crypto on a hard wallet and not leave it on these mainstream apps that can crash, like what was the one that FTX, right?
Yep.
And you lose all your stuff. And when you really finally know and understand, you get the knowledge on how this works. Then when you're fully educated, you can actually implement that knowledge. See, you can act on the knowledge and you can get a result. So it's all about gaining the knowledge, but also applying the knowledge. And that's what we have here. We have something unique where you're going to get a lot of knowledge and you're going to learn how to apply it. And, the topics that I'll be talking about, this post-labor society is going to be huge, because that'll be this weekend. You got to join. You got to come to the to the online event before there are no more spots left for this, because our webinar can only hold a certain number of people. So you got to hurry up and register. But we're talking about the post-labor society, and we're talking about what are you going to do when 90% of the jobs are eliminated? How are you going to pivot? Where are you going to pivot? What are you going to do? What are your kids going to do? Right now, we have in school today, our current education system, at least here in America, is still teaching kids how to have a nice career. Oh, you're going to be an attorney, a doctor. You're going to be, a cashier or whatever it is. Those jobs don't exist for those kids in grade school right now. By the time they get out of grade school, out of high school, those jobs that they were working for and preparing for from the time they were in grade school, non-existent. And now you've raised a person for 13 years of school or more who has absolutely nothing to do, completely worthless information inside their head. So we have to begin to teach now what's going to happen post-labor society. How can you start future thinking now? What can you pivot into now? What can you be prepared for from now? And what can you also teach the next generation from now? And we have to think of these things, because if we don't think of them for ourselves, they damn sure won't, because they want to create super wealthy and super poor, nothing in the middle.
Yep. Yeah. No, and guys, like, there is some really, really exciting stuff. And by the way, I put up
I missed it.
Billy.
Where'd it go?
Yeah,
Get it back up there.
We'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
So Damian Greenwood put, this could build communities and help a lot of people. Let me sweeten the deal for you to head over to that event that we're doing this weekend. That's where the money is going to be in the future. It's gonna be in communities. All right. And there already are communities. Like, it was funny because I've been studying this as well, the post-labor economy. It's all about community. Billy and I have been talking about how do we build even bigger communities where we're all voting, where we're all deciding the future, where we're all deciding the investments. All right. It's all coming down this line, and all of it is DeFi related. All of it is DeFi related. And this is really where, now, are we there yet? Are we at like the streaming age of the blockchain? No way. We're at the beginning, guys and gals, of DeFi. DeFi's only been around for 5 years. That's it. And less than 1% of people are actually doing decentralized finance. Imagine when it's 5% of the world doing it.
Ooh.
It's going to be fire. It's going to be fire, literally. Again, guys, gals, show up. We're going to go in depth. We're going to talk about some real futuristic stuff. We're also going to show you how to set up your own wallet. We're going to show you how to stay away from scams. It's $5. Guys, literally, we charge thousands of dollars for these things. It's $5. Like, this is something you can't avoid to miss. Billy was just saying, your son, your daughter, if you think, like, it's so funny. Like, my daughter goes to a good school here, and they're like, oh man, you have to send her to this school because they're amazing and all these things. And I'm like, dude, that shit ain't even gonna be around in 10 years. I'm gonna be teaching my daughter this stuff because I teach it to other people. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, really breaking out of the financial matrix, guys. That's why we called it Decode the Financial Matrix. It's breaking out from this old system that's crumbling around us. What do you think we're seeing these wars? Come on, man.
It's crumbling.
The theatrics, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a crumbling society.
Pure theater, man. Pure theater. It's wild. I'm sitting back going, if I'm looking at it like this, the aliens are parked outside of the atmosphere, sitting on the edge of their spacecraft, eating popcorn, watching, the reality show Earth season in episode 2025. Man, this is wild. Wild stuff, bro. Wild. Yeah.
Man.
But that's okay. We have the knowledge, and we're going to be teaching that knowledge. And that's the most important thing, is the fact that it's not just about taking a look and speaking on the problems, because we have to do that, but also we got to as a community, as a global community, we have to start talking about solutions to the problems, right? We have to. We can't keep just complaining and whining. We have to learn how to be warriors, not worriers. And to do that, you got to be willing to be a part of things like this, community things. And maybe this doesn't resonate with you. And guess what? That's okay. It might be something else. But 3,000 students later with the ARC, just from Forbidden Knowledge, we know that a lot of people resonate with this, and a lot of people are getting a lot out of this. And this is the wave of the future. It's just one of the waves of the future. There's several, but this is one of them. And you have a golden opportunity to get involved at a ground floor level. I think it's still ground floor, in my personal opinion, and learn something that you can learn how to apply, get a better fundamental understanding of what's really going on and what's happening and what is going to happen in the near future. I'm talking about really, really close. So I mean, things that Gven will be talking about. I know, Gven, you're going to be hitting on some great topics, but there's so many things that people don't even understand, like, trading or swapping crypto without triggering a taxable event, depending on the jurisdiction, of course, where the trade's happening, holding on to your crypto in foreign wallets. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that's out there that I've been learning about that's like just blowing my mind, that every single day you can learn something new. And that's what this is all about, learning.
Yep, 100%. I was watching a video from a woman. Oh man, what's her name? I'm trying to get her on for the next event that we do in like I don't know, in the near future. Mm-hmm. Invest Diva, and she's got this thing called the triple compound, right? Which I totally agree with her, because I do this myself, right? The first thing that you want to invest in is in yourself.
Yep.
Right? You want to invest in yourself. I know that I've been investing in myself a lot, especially a lot more lately. Like, I've been buying more courses because I know the more I know, and especially the more like relevant the stuff that I'm learning, like, I know it's going to make me more money. And it has been. Like, I've actually been making more money lately. It's really cool. So the first thing that I'm going to invest in is myself. That's number one. The second thing that I invest in is my business. Yeah. And I know, like, guys, gals, I've invested millions of my own dollars and God knows how many of my hours in my business. Yeah. In my business. But that's going to be the revenue generator for me. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing that I invest in, for me, it's crypto. And I stick to crypto. I have some algorithms coming up for stocks that we can trade on the blockchain, which is really cool, coming up here in the next 2 months. But right outside of that, I stick to crypto. And that's what I invest my time and my money in, learning and finding new opportunities and doing things differently. And it's paid off. It's the reason why I'm here doing what I do. So she calls it that triple compound. I really like that today. I saw that today. I'm like, oh man, I gotta come up with something on my own on that, because that was really, really cool. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that, Billy? Invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in your assets.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the formula, man. You have to do that. We've been taught the prison system of teaching, because school is like a prison system. The same exact bus, the same cafeteria, the same slop on your plate, the same organized, you walk in a straight line, shut up, don't, only speak when you're spoken to, sit still, don't move, time for this, time for that, take your nap, get up, and they only teach you how to remember or memorize information, but they don't teach you how to solve problems. Yep. That's why we have a society of people that really don't understand problem solving. It's not their fault. We were programmed to not solve problems. We've been programmed to memorize information. And memorizing information without comprehension doesn't serve any purpose. So you have a lot of people walking around with a whole lot of random, unusable information in their heads, if they can even remember that. If you walk up to a grown-up and you say, hey, what's 2 times 2? They say, oh, 4. They say it fast. And 4. Now, you say, okay, now why is 2 times 2 4? Why does 2 times 2 equal 4? All of a sudden, they got to think. Why are they thinking? Why is there that pause and to think about understanding how the process worked to get to that? The reason why is because we've been taught to memorize information. We haven't been taught to solve problems. When you're in school, they teach you how to memorize your multiplication table. And you see this grid and you just memorize the answers. And then you go, oh, okay, well, now I know it. I know my multiplication tables. Not really. They didn't really take the time to teach you how to solve the problem so you can comprehend why 2 times 2 equals 4. And that applies to a lot of things that we're taught in school. It's all about taking tests and memorizing a test. Who gets the highest score on this test, that test, the SAT, ACT. It really truly has nothing to do with understanding how to solve real world problems. And that's where the masses in society are lacking out here on these streets, because the elites, they know how to solve real world problem or create the problem. What they do is they have a formula: create the problem, wait for the reaction, and then provide the solution. And they monetize that. They know the system inside and out. And the people are blind to that because we've only been taught to memorize bare bones basic information that can't hardly ever be applied to anything. So you have to start investing in yourself. You have to start doing a lot of deep dives and research and diving into information that might seem a little bit more difficult than you normally are used to, just so that you can make sure that you are growing and gaining more information and more knowledge on a consistent basis. You see, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I like what Manny wrote here. They give you information that keeps you in formation.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so true. You know, so anyways, man, look, guys, we're at time here. Are you still there, Billy?
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, my screen is a little frozen here, but
Okay.
but yeah, let's guys, gals, let's make a move. $5 barely costs you anything. A cup of coffee nowadays, and probably not even an expensive one. But we do have, in my opinion, some superior stuff that we are teaching. We're going to have some great speakers. We have some speakers like Reagan Hillier. Reagan Hillier, she's a multimillionaire who has helped 60 people become millionaires and countless others become 100,000aires over several years. She used to be an architect. She gave that up. We have a woman by the name of Jenny Gordiano, and she was a Ukrainian woman, not a lot of opportunity, ended up getting out of there, building her own businesses. She got multiple different businesses. Last year, she was, I think by Forbes, she was determined to be one of the influencers of the year in her category. We've got Andrew Cartwright, who uses real estate and gives you all sorts of hacks that he's going to be talking about, how you can get government grants and stuff like that. He's going to be talking. And by the way, all of these people have like 1 million+ subscribers, real subscribers that they have built audiences and communities over the years. So it's not just going to be Billy and I. We are bringing the heat to this one. We're bringing the heat to this one. We got lots of people that are going to bring lots of knowledge. That's why we have Forbidden Knowledge. We love, it's not just like what we're talking, it's what are the other thought leaders talking about? What are the other people doing in their businesses? Because I want to learn. I want to know what they're doing, you know? So we've got huge people. Mike Rashid, who just dropped his book with you guys, right, Billy? You guys published it for him.
We published his book.
He's going to be there talking. You know, it's going to be a huge lineup, and there's just going to be so much value. Come with your pencil sharpened. We're giving away $10,000. You just got to show up and pay attention. And then we're going to earn to learn. We're going to earn to learn. We're going to have a quiz at the end of every single day. And in that, we're going to be giving away, actually, I bumped it up to $12,000. $12,000 in real crypto, in real NFTs, and you're going to get paid to learn. So anyways, that's all I got, man. What do you got anything else, Billy? I see people signing up left and right here.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, heck, you know, these people are intelligent. These are some of the smartest people. That's why I call these people leaders. They're not followers, they're leaders. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing y'all this weekend. It's going to be an amazing weekend. And with that being said, click the link in the caption of this video. Click the link in my bio if you're on X, and go to the Masterclass registration. If you're on Facebook, the link should be in this live chat somewhere, and probably also in the caption of this video. and also, of course, in the live chat. So click the link, guys. Register. We'll see y'all on this weekend. It's going to be an amazing weekend. All right. We can sign out of here, man.
All right, brother. Yeah, it's this weekend. Somebody asked him, June 28th and 29th.
Yeah, 28th and 29th. All right, y'all. All right, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.